So this black was just recently switched out from the white plastic tray. Actually, when I opened the drawer, I was actually hoping the new tray was going to be wood or bamboo, but I was actually surprised that it was another plastic option, but just in a different color. So now I'm wondering where the white plastic one went. So actually what I want to also say is there's like this midpoint that feels really good as humans. Oops. To this whole crossover with plastics. Because if plastics are going to keep things out, that it has such a sticky bond, the molecules have such a sticky bond that it's such a sticky bond. And we know, that it's going to create this really dense barrier to anything organic. We have to start asking ourselves some questions like, is that really what we want?
Hey, how are
Is
you?
that the best for us?
How's that wing of yours?
And so
Did you
I
find
feel
some?
like, this mashup of juxtaposing rattan and like synthetics has almost like this very magical vibe. And I actually really love it.
See that?
And,
You see?
if we were
Is
going to
that
look
good?
at it in
Is
an
that good?
astrological perspective, this would be the midpoint where things are crossing over and there are areas that are going to go to the extreme. But I think we're definitely coming out of like this all plastic place, time period, house, culture. And, what's happened was so much focus has been put on iterating plastic that organics like rattan have been a little bit, well, let's just say they've been put on the back burner. And it's because we as humans love to focus on details. So once we got all the detail on the plastic, we're going, okay, wait, maybe we missed something in the organics. So, which leads me to like this other blown out theory that other, spa kind of experience that I have along with the um, the cocoon casket meditation, which is, you go into a space that I'm envisioning is lit by natural light. Although it has like this perfect climate with water that's being misted from the purest water source. So you're breathing in this really, really pure water source. And you're laying in this completely organic, like cocoon. Um, and so the meditation goes that you enter the space kind of like the caterpillar, all slug-like. You lay down in this cocoon casket. And, I think that what's important too about visualizing this is its placement. For example, a, what do they call it? A caterpillar, it just in my opinion, it's not random where it's going to pick its spot and hang its chrysalis, or develop its chrysalis and become a butterfly. And so I think that's also significant is, as you go into the meditation, you're thinking about your specific placement on the planet and in your family and in your work and in your industry and in your life, and that's not a random thing, that you're positioning yourself there, and that's where you're going to be for the next however many days until you completely transmute for the next part of your journey, of your, you're just beingness, your intelligence, your existence, your expansion, your eternal nature, your divine nature, your everlasting eternal path. So you're on that, and this is part of the itinerary. So, and in preparation for that is kind of like this mental simulation that we put ourselves through with, this spa-like environment. And, even our clothing are of such that we can appreciate all aspects of the experience, which is we're clothed or we're not clothed, or
Sorry, I had no
and maybe I'm making too big of a deal about it, but freaking it is a bloody deal. So this is Vicky Stecker's study on it. And then the experience of just like completely interacting with this organic like spa-like meditation where there's no plastic. Everything is very open and organic and pulsating and moving and alive, and you're just in this protected basket, being able to sense and feel it and hear it, and not have anything land on you or touch you. So you're able to kind of like observe it from, what would we say, more of a, you're able to observe it kind of like if we were looking at our phones watching TikTok from an outside perspective. And it doesn't say that this is going to be, oh gosh, turn of the century, this is how you do it, turn the key, step right in. No, this is just a underscoring, a reflecting, let's add some wind, let's add some fire, let's add some momentum to what we already know is coming, but yet actually kind of prepare for it, almost like a mother would if she was getting ready to birth a baby. That was really a lot to come to at the end of like, why the peacock chair? But I mean, here's the thing, is that the iteration on it stopped. Not entirely. I mean, there's definitely a surgence of new creation in this industry, but it hasn't even reached its full velocity. I mean, if you think about what's being iterated in plastic, the reason why people are buying the plastic options is because there are no organic options that are comparable. So, that says that we don't have the support and systems behind creating comparable options. And so therefore, adopters might have to step back to a more primitive version, in order for it to come up into like a extremely high level technological, revolution. And I think one of the experiences that present this example would be, I was in an airport traveling in Asia, and I went into the Prada store, and they are carrying this most beautiful, organically woven Prada handbag. And it's kind of like, it can go either way. Like it's like a satchel. No, not like a satchel. Feels like a little satchel briefcase. Not a satchel, but a miniature pack-ish kind of a thing. It's sporty. And so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, if you go into Prada or Gucci or Louis Vuitton, what you're going to see is laminated canvas and rawhide. You might even see straight up plastic. And I think that the real luxury blue check, is going to come from the iteration in organic. So if you're a luxury brand and you do not have these options on your shelf, I just hate to break it to you, but I feel like you're going to get left behind. I don't think that people are going to grind on more plastic. No. Or more bloody leather, because that's how people are viewing, so then it's back to plastic, because now it's vegan. And so people are being, brands are being forced to look at the organic industry and go, what can we make with this now? Who are our makers? And so what I'm here to say is Home Vestures has shown that we can make a high quality product, and that we know how to focus on the details of a high-end product and high-end production. We know how to select the right makers and the right people for your project. And we may not have the largest portfolio. In fact, some of our early adopters could give record and history of that, which has helped us to position ourselves at a more knowing place in the industry, more ready to know how to steer the ship with multiple buyers and overhead costs, and how the shipping works, and what your deadlines are, what the holidays are across the world. What is going on with the weather? Is it rainy season or is it summer? Where are you located? Are you a tiny island or are you a big gigantic main port? So there's just so many considerations, and we actually have done it all and can. And the road is a bumpy one in some respects, because if you're looking for a highway experience on a path that has not been made, you're being unrealistic. Okay? Because if you're blazing a new path in the industry and you want a highway experience, that means that somebody else went before you, which means that you're not really blazing a new path. So you have to expect that the path is going to be bumpy. There is going to be risk. But because Home Ventures has taken on a lot of the risk and has carved a path, it's less treacherous, it's less risky. We can forecast and foresee pitfalls, and we know how to watch out for them. And so I think that's one of the values of working with me, as it relates to production and home festers and how we service the industry. That's how we do it. We do it through knowing, and we do it through connecting our knowing to the most reliable places, and sometimes we will even be physically there to watch the pass off. In most cases, we are. But there are instances that actually happen in the United States that are out of our control. And it usually is when it hits an Amazon warehouse. So, as much as you want to go to Amazon or Target for your product, our product does not travel that way. There's too much risk in that path for us. So this is a specialty item. You're looking for, remember, blazing a new path. So your shipping is going to be different than if you're buying from Target or Amazon or Walmart, because these are items that you do not buy at those stores. So your buying shipping experience will be different. But I just want you to know that it has that kind of a understanding at the foundation. So Home Vestures understands that is their client. That is who they're dealing with. People that buy from these places and understand fast shipping, efficient, lowest costs, leading edge. And so, but see, this is not something that Amazon has a strong pulse on. They're working on it. And in fact, I'm being interviewed right now to have a handmade account on Amazon. But as I look at all of the requirements there's still a disconnect. Amazon is still putting this iron fist on a system that doesn't exist, on a path that hasn't been blazed. They're saying, we want a highway on your newly trodden path. Okay, put the highway down. But if not, then it has to come by this other way. And because I know these other ways and these other paths, this isn't something that Amazon talks about nor builds its business on. And I'm not knocking Amazon, but there's forests, there's villages, there's trade-offs, there's pass-offs, there's motorcycles, there's trucks, it's all varied. There's bicycles even. It's all the movement of it. I mean, I've gotten down to the micro movement of it, and even, the size and scale of what that micro movement looks like. And so I guess what I'm saying is that, when you buy from Home Vestures, you are in essence saying, I am starting this new path for myself. I want to get more into organics, and I'm making this investment. And what this investment does is it continues to widen and strengthen this path for me so that I can get more of the products that I want, that aren't maybe so expensive, that are more, functional for the home, for the drawer, for the closet, for my lunchbox, in my workplace, in so many areas. And And so, you know, it's kind of like that. So what we're showing you is we have this polarity of, hey, we're way over here on Pluto, and you're going, oh my gosh, we're way over here on, what would it be? I don't know, the sun. And you're just going, that's too far away. And so, you know, this is where we're seeing the midpoint take place, where the Pluto and Sun cross, switch sides, so to speak. We're right in the middle of it. And so I would say, as an industry leader and leaders, we want to be looking to this crossover, and then we want to say to ourselves, which side do we want to be on? Because it is going to cross over, and we're going to go more into plastic, or we're going to go more into organics. But I just don't think that factories have the dollars to set up two operations. I mean, can you imagine an organic production like studio like Homeproducts wanting to create a synthetic product, like make synthetic weaving materials? I mean, they exist and we will use them, but it's like, why would we want to make synthetic in our building when we're making organics? And I guess, you know, it comes to that idea of like, can you really do both well? Can you really have that 50-50 split and do it well? Well, we can see in today's world that the mixture and combination of textures like synthetic and rattan are extremely exciting, and that we wouldn't want it to be all synthetic. We might be okay with it being all rattan, but somehow we like the fact that it's both. At least I do.